Hi everyone, my name is Mahmood Sheikh and welcome back to Object Oriented System Analysis and Design tutorial series. In today's video, we are going to discuss about UML activity diagram. In my previous videos in this series, I have discussed everything about what is UML, which is Unified Modeling Language, and I have also discussed about some of the diagrams like sequence diagram, state transition diagrams. So if you guys have not seen that video, then I just recommend you guys to watch those videos as well, and you can find those videos in the same playlist. So before coming to today's topic, I just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video or if you got some useful and valuable information from this video, then click on like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and if you guys have any questions, then let me know in the comment section. Now let us start our discussion. So let us start our discussion with the definition of UML activity diagram. So what is a UML activity diagram? So activity diagrams comes under the category of Unified Modeling Language, and we use these activity diagrams in software development process to systematically represent various activities that are performed in the system. As we guys already know that a system is made up with various components, various activities. The system word refers here to a software application. Okay, so a software application is made up with different components, and each and every of those components will be built up with various activities. So what are the actions performed in those activities? From one activity the data is moving to which next activity. So the control of data within the activities we will be representing with the help of activity diagram. Activity diagrams helps us to clearly understand various activities involved in that system, their participation in the system, their flow or the flow between one activity to another activity. All these things we will come to know with the help of activity diagrams. Okay, so all these things and what are the various notations used in activity diagrams, all those things we will be going to cover in this video. So please watch this video till the end so that you can get the complete information regarding UML activity diagrams. So all those things I have written it down in this board, and let us start discussing these points. UML activity diagrams are the types of behavior diagrams that depict the dynamic aspects of system. What is mentioned here? Activity diagrams comes in the category of behavioral diagrams, where we are representing the behavior of the system, and we are also trying to depict the dynamic behavior of the system. Dynamic means where continuously changes takes place based on the input. Whenever user will be giving an input, based on that input the changes will takes place, and what are those changes will takes place, we will be representing those changes with the help of this activity diagram. Next, they are useful for modeling workflows and business process. So we use activity diagram to model or to represent the various workflow, means the flow of data between each and every activity of the system. We used to represent that with the help of activity diagram. Okay. Next, it describes the flow of control between activities or actions within a system. Whenever there is a system or a software application, users will be using that system with the help of various actions. When there are various actions, that means the data will get transferred from one action to another action, from one activity to another activity. So that will come to know with the help of this activity diagram. Now let us move ahead to discuss the key elements of activity diagram. So the first key element of activity diagram is the activities itself. As I already told you that we are representing various activities in the activity diagram. So in our activity diagram the activities will be represented with the help of this rounded rectangle. Okay, next, it represents tasks or operations that are performed in the system. As I have said, whatever task user will be performing on that system, we will be representing those tasks or operations with the help of activities. which is this symbol. Okay, at the end of this video we will see an example also. The next point is it can varies from simple actions to complex processes. So those actions or activities can be a simple task or action, or it can be a complex, okay, based on the type of problem or type of system you are developing. Next, second key component is control flow or transitions. Arrows connecting activities. Okay, so whenever we are drawing an activity diagram, in that activity diagram we are required to represent the flow of data from one activity to another activity. So to represent that flow we will be using arrows. As you can see here, we are using arrows. Okay, so with these arrows we are actually representing the flow of data or the transition between one activity to another activity. Now the second point is it indicates the flow of control from one activity to another activity. These control flows or transitions basically they are representing the control or the flow of control from one activity to another activity. Next, the direction of arrows indicates sequence of activity. So these arrows which you can see here, this is coming downwards, this is coming to the next stage. So these arrows are representing the flow of data from one activity to another activity. So next we will see control flow represents the sequence in which activities are performed. So this control flow or the transitions also represents the sequence or the order in which these activities needs to performed. Now the next component is, or the key element is, decision model. It is represented by diamond shape. As you can see here in the diagram, here we have taken a diamond. Okay, so the control is coming towards the diamond where there is a check gets performed. If the order gets accepted, then I will be redirecting the user to fill the order. If the order gets rejected, I will be redirecting the user to directly to the close order page. Okay, so I am redirecting the user to different activities or different part of the activity diagram based on the decision made at this particular point of time, which is I am indicating with the help of diamond. Okay, next, it depicts the points in the process where the flow can take different paths based on the condition. That's what I told you. Okay, so it represents the points in the process. This is a particular point in this complete activity diagram. Here I am redirecting the user to different directions, and that decision I am making based on the condition which is getting evaluated here at this particular point. So based on that condition I am controlling the flow of data from one activity to another activity. Merge nodes. It indicated as diamond with multiple incoming and one outgoing line. Okay, so now you can see that part here in this diagram. So as you can see here, the control is coming towards this diamond from this particular point as well as from this particular point. So the control is coming from these two multiple lines and they are going towards a single outgoing line. So these two are the incoming lines and this is the outgoing line. Okay, then it indicates the merging of control flow. Yes, as you can see here, the data is flowing from these two lines and that data gets combined or merged to form a single line, which is this. Next, forks and joins. Fork nodes represents the splitting of control flows into multiple concurrent flow, and that can be represented with this diagram in activity diagram. Suppose data is coming from one path, which you can see here. Data is coming from this path, and from this particular point that flow is getting divided into two parts, and from two direction concurrently at the same time data is getting transferred towards the send invoice activity as well as to the ship order activity. Next, join nodes depicts the merging of different flows back to a single flow. This join node is indicated in activity diagram as circle. Okay, so you can observe this join. Okay, so from here the data is coming from two different arrows and the data which is coming from those two lines gets combined here in a single arrow. Okay, next, sixth key element is initial and final node. The initial node, a filled circle in activity diagram, an initial node is indicated with this filled circle, represents the starting point of the activity diagram, which you can see here in this diagram. This is the starting point, okay, from where the processing order takes place. Next, final node, a circle with a node inside, okay, a circle with a dot. See, this is the end point, a circle with a dot inside. So it represents the end point of the activity diagram. Since it is the end, or the closing order is the end, and we have indicated that with the help of this notation. So I hope you guys have understood what is an activity diagram, where we use an activity diagram, and what are the various key elements or diagrammatic notations used in the activity diagram. Now let us move ahead to discuss this activity diagram, which indicates the order processing system. Okay, so now you can see the customer will be requesting an order, then that order gets started from here at this particular point, okay, which is the initial node. Order start getting processed, and the company will receive that order. Then if the order gets accepted, then that order will move towards the fill order activity. Then from this particular point here, this indicates the fork, okay. From this particular activity, the flow gets divided into two parts. One part is moving towards the send invoice activity, another part is moving towards the ship order. So from send invoice, it goes to make the invoice and then accept the payment, then it takes to the final step, which is close order. Okay, now here also, okay, so here ship order, the control is moving towards the ship order, and then from this particular point it's taking the user directly to the close order. So what if the order gets rejected? Then in that case the user will be redirected direct to the last, which is the closing order stage. So like this, with the help of these various diagrammatic notations, you can write or you can draw a activity diagram. So activity diagrams are very useful in the field of software development, because developing a software is a big task. It's a process of different tasks. So to represent that software development task in the form of diagrams, you can use activity diagram. So with the help of the activity diagram, you can easily analyze the problem, you can completely design the entire system and various activities, and the flow that is taking place between those activities you can easily draw using activity diagram. Now, this is the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys like this entire explanation. I hope you guys have understood this concept. If you guys like this video, or if you got some useful and valuable information from this video, then click on like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and if you guys have any questions, then let me know in the comment section. And thanks for watching.